What's going on, y'all? VNNCC3 here, bringing you episode 3 in our Colosseum Guide Series. In this episode, I'll cover the top 10 best heroes in the Colosseum and what makes them so darn good. I'll also talk about the 5 worst heroes and why you shouldn't use them. Don't be afraid. Alright y'all, before we get into this episode, I want to give a special shout out to Sly Cooper for making my new intro and outro clips. He's got some serious talent, and if you'd like to see some amazing videos, I highly recommend checking out his channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. Would you have guessed the number 1 hero is actually free to play, and that's none other than Rose Knight. Rose Knight is a support / tank hero, and she's pretty much in every top Colosseum team because of the shield she places on each of your heroes at the start of the fight. That shield will absorb a great amount of impact damage. She also tends to throw out a super clutch, life-saving heal, but let's not forget about her ultimate, which is one of the hardest hitting ultimates in the game if it has multiple targets to bounce between. Number 2 is another free-to-play hero, and that's going to be Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer's uncanny ability to infiltrate the enemy's team is not something you want to take lightly. His Mystic Seal ability will silence anyone hit by it for 3 seconds, completely shutting down the enemy's casters. And his Silent Ambush ability will normally critically lower the enemy's hit points, or sometimes it'll actually critically hit and downright kill them. He also has a ridiculous amount of magic defense, so he doesn't fear the enemy casters. And his ultimate Wilting Spiral will normally hit every enemy, doing a good amount of damage, and sometimes even downright killing 1 or 2 of them. Number 3 is yet another free-to-play hero, and that's going to be Incinerator. Incinerator isn't a hero you want to underestimate. She has ridiculous damage capabilities, and she can stun multiple targets at a time, clearly making her a very formidable opponent, and I, for one, will never take her lightly. Don't tell me number 4's a free-to-play. Hey, bro. That's right, guys. Number 4 is none other than Tracker. Tracker's initial 3-second stun is invaluable because it's going to take an enemy out at the very start of the fight for its full duration, giving your team a very clear advantage. Her Aerostorm ability does a good amount of area damage, so if you're looking to make an area damage composition team, she's definitely a go-to hero for that. But don't forget about her ultimate. It packs a wallop. It'll normally one-shot a hero. And last but not least, on top of all the things I just mentioned, she has a larger amount of hit points for a damage-based hero. When you combine all of that together, well, needless to say, Tracker is one hero you really do not want to cross. I don't even think I should say who the number 5 hero slot's going to be, but let's just go ahead and give you a little spoiler alert. It's going to be a free-to-play hero, and that's going to be none other than Trickster. Trickster is one of the strongest disabling heroes for the Colosseum. He has 2 skills that hit from long range, one being a disarm and the other being an accuracy reducer. Trickster's overall damage is surprisingly really high, but the terrifying part about Trickster is his ultimate. It can completely obliterate the entire enemy team, making him a very spicy wildcard for your team. Well, we can't win them all, but the number 6 slot goes to the big guy. The big guy's ability to take a beating while providing stun after stun after stun is simply unmatched, and the fact that he can dish out a fair amount of damage as well makes him a very sexy looking hero. Run them digits! Ranking in at number 7 is going to be the Dark Follower. The Dark Follower's ability Dark Unrest is going to do a sickening amount of damage, not to mention any enemy hit by it is going to be silenced, and it's a ranged ability. Like, that is absolutely amazing. His Holy Blessing is going to heal for such a large amount of damage, and any ally that's been hit by it is going to have their physical attack greatly increased. There's only one other hero in the entire game right now that rivals the Demon Slayer's lack of enthusiasm towards casters, and that is the Dark Follower. You know, his ultimate, though, is like a cherry on the top, man, because it hits such a large area. Like, think about Trickster's ultimate and his ultimate together. Like, boom. You'd see like a nuclear Scud missile go off, explosions happen. The only thing that comes to mind is that he slices, he dices, he pretty much does it all. The only reason he didn't make it up higher up on the list is because he's got a lower hit point base. Like, really, he's kind of pushing, like, what, I think it's 11.6k at level 16 max geared legendary. And so, basically saying, if you don't have him at this status, it's going to be really hard to push him on your Coliseum team. So, he's ranked really low, but guys, he is absolutely an amazing hero. I'm just curious of one question, though. Does he model? Number 8 slot's gonna go to Black Crow. Black Crow is the highest consistent damage hero in the game, point blank, and she's extremely deadly in the Coliseum. She applies massive bleeds on her targets, coupled with crippling their defenses. She isn't a hero you'd think is really strong because she doesn't offer any disabling abilities, and her ultimate isn't one that just kind of goes, wow, like, wow, that did a lot. But real talk, y'all, there's only one hero I actually fear in the Coliseum when they're completely maxed out, and that's Black Crow. 9 and 10 are tied because both of these heroes are situational, and you have to make your team composition able to fit them in. But these two heroes are absolutely amazing. Death Knight's used in most stall-based teams. A stall-based team is basically a team that relies on its ultimates instead of what the actual heroes are capable of, which isn't a bad strategy, but it's just not one that I use because it's easily countered. Sea Squire is used in most healing comps, but if you place him in with the right heroes, he can single-handedly be your MVP for the match. If you go against these two heroes, they can easily ruin your match, so learning how to counter them is absolutely important, and that is exactly why they made the top 10 list. These 5 heroes are seen in most early to mid-tier Coliseum teams, and some may even appear in top-tier teams like Primadonna. The reason why these 5 heroes made the bottom is because in theory, they add tons of value to your team, but real talk, they really don't. Let's start off with the Barbarian. The Barbarian offers the ability to force everyone on the enemy team to attack him. The only problem is that he actually needs to ultimate first, and they all need to be together. So, if I see the Barbarian as your leading tank, I will do one of two things, right? I'll either make a heavy burst AoE team and just kill the entire back row of your team and laugh at you, or I'll make a heavy burst team and just down him right off the bat, and now you're one less hero away because he doesn't really offer any disabling abilities outside of his Heathen Smash, but real talk, man, he's just not worth the inclusion on your team. Next, we'll talk about Snow Queen. In theory, she's absolutely amazing because of her rank 7 ability. It's supposed to give rapid MP to your team so they ultimate really fast. The only drawback is that you need several hundreds of MP in order to ultimate. She also has a very low hit point base, making her a very good theory hero, but not a very good practical hero, especially for the Coliseum. Let's go to Scarlet Bolt. Scarlet Bolt screams, I do tons of damage, but the major drawback is that she is purely a melee hero and offers no disabling abilities, and she dies really fast, especially if that tank dies. She drops within a matter of like 2 seconds. Last but not least, let's cover Primadonna. Man, Primadonna, man, I don't know why people use you, but let's go ahead and do it, right? Lots of people like to use this hero in the Coliseum, but riddle me this, Batman. If she doesn't ultimate, what the fuck is she actually doing for your team? Tell me. Go ahead, tell me in the comments right now. What the fuck is your Primadonna doing for your team if she doesn't ultimate? Now, I'm going to get 1 or 2 comments that are going to say, well, she's going to buff the magic attack of the allies near her and all that good stuff. You guys want to hear some real fucking talk? Real fucking talk that amounts to piss and shit and a whole lot of it, especially in the Coliseum. The Coliseum's all about just really quick interactions, not, well, in 10 minutes they'll do like more damage. No, it's all about quick interactions, right? The biggest reason no one on my kingdom, which is K4, uses Primadonna is because unless she can ultimate, she's 100% fucking dead weight, literally, and you might as well consider the fight a 5v4 in my favor instead of a 5v5 because she doesn't do anything or add any value to your team unless she can ultimate. If y'all are curious about K4's Coliseum players, the only thing I'll mention is that we're extremely competitive. I cannot go not even an hour, like 30 minutes, holding the rank 1 Coliseum spot without getting bombarded by attacks. Like seriously, we are seriously very competitive. But Here's a very simple team lineup, and you can pick any 5 of the heroes I'm about to mention and then some against your Primadonna team, and I can guarantee you I'll absolutely smoke you. I mean, now, this is at level 60 max geared gameplay. Maybe at the lower levels, she does pretty okay, but at this level of gameplay, she absolutely gets her shit pushed in, and your team does too. So I'll go ahead and list some heroes right here that are absolutely hard counters to her. How about Demon Slayer? How about Incinerator? How about Tracker, the Dark Follower, Rose Knight? Shade, you can literally list all of these hero compositions and they will absolutely smoke your Primadonna composition because all of them add so much more value to the team lineup than she could ever imagine possible. All I'm saying, guys, is if you're having trouble with Primadonna teams, a really simple team composition, what's 100% free to play and everybody can make it, is Rose Knight, Demon Slayer, Incinerator, Trickster, and then go ahead and throw in Shade or, throw in some random hero. Throw in Tracker, why don't you? Bam, that is a perfect 5-man team that'll absolutely rape a Primadonna team. Like, I am not joking, guys. But anyways, guys, any of the heroes that didn't make either the list, whether they're in the top or the bottom, they're usually used for their ultimates, and that doesn't mean that they're that they're bad or anything like that. It just means that they didn't make a list of, very good heroes and very bad heroes, because guys, you shouldn't be picking your heroes based off of their ultimates. You should be picking your heroes based off of what they can actually do for your team and how they interact with one another. And 90% of the actual wins you'll get in the Coliseum are not actually decided off the ultimates. They're decided off the little interactions between the different heroes, whether you've got a big disabling team or they've got a burst team or whatever. 9 times out of 10 is what I'm saying. The fight is strictly determined before the ultimates even happen. So anyways, guys, hopefully this guide, or hopefully this review, I don't know what you guys want to call it, hopefully it was educational. Hopefully I don't get flamed too bad in the comments. And, this new outro, I absolutely love it. I love the new intro, but y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm getting attacked right now, as you guys can hear right now. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Be safe, but above all, stay classy.